I like how whenever one of these cringe biracial slam poets goes viral, people send me the videos as if to be like, yo, this your girl. Come get your girl. I don't claim her. I'm gonna start being like Pete Wentz. Flat iron my hair. Oh my god. No one needs to know. I'm dying. I don't know, like, I'm proud of my parents. I'm proud of where I come from. But it's embarrassing. I bet if I straighten my hair, people won't even ask anymore.
Okay, so I happened across this video and I was like, oh, something is amiss. Something is definitely off here because it's not giving biracial, it's giving Caucasian, okay? Like, what? So I went and I looked at another one of her videos where she actually showed her parents, right? Okay, so let's look at her parents.
This comment made me laugh. I get that a lot. I don't know, guys, a lot of people in the comments were asking, like, am I actually half and half? Or is my black parent, like, also biracial? And that's why my skin is so pale. So my dad is from the Dominican Republic, and I know there's, like, a whole history of, you know, Dominicans denying their blackness. Certainly my dad has some indigenous and European DNA, but like, that's him, that's me. There's a more recent picture. I must admit, I'm looking quite tan here in San Diego. I moved to the Bay Area, so I don't get much sun. And then that's my mom, if you were curious, the baby me. Honestly, like, I don't know why I'm not like halfway between these two skin tones. Genetics are weird.
First of all, let's talk about this comment that somebody left that she's replying to in this video. They said, you're the most white girl that's black that I've ever seen. So they looking at an actual white woman talking about, oh, this is the whitest I've ever seen a black woman. Well, golly gee, maybe it's because she's white. Like, what? I'm confused because will anybody ever look at me and say, you're the most black white girl I've ever seen? Like, this is the blackest I've ever seen a white girl. Nobody in their right mind would ever say that because quite clearly, if I'm the blackest white girl you ever seen, well, bitch, I must be black, right? But for some reason, we pretend that white people can be black. Like, huh? Okay, so this woman says that her dad is from the Dominican Republic, and she says that she knows there's a long history of Dominicans denying their blackness. I've mentioned in previous videos, I have a huge bone to pick with the statement that people make, oh, Dominicans are black, right? Because no, Dominicans are not black. Of course, there are some black Dominicans, but there are also some white Dominicans and some mixed Dominicans, etc., etc., etc. That's like sitting here and saying that Detroiters are black. Okay, now, yeah, Detroit is a majority black city, but no, every person in Detroit is not black. In fact, well, Eminem's not actually from Detroit, but he pretends he is and y'all pretends he is. So we just gonna pretend he is for the purpose of this comparison, right? So if Eminem was actually from Detroit, right, that would be like saying he's black because he's from Detroit, even though he's clearly not. And y'all be sitting here talking about, oh, Detroiters denying their blackness. But there are definitely non-black Detroiters. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Detroit is a majority black city. But I went to school with a handful of white folks. You know what I'm saying? So it's not correct to sit here and say Dominicans are black. Yeah, there are black Dominicans. For all I know, maybe the Dominican Republic is majority black. I ain't looked up the percentages. I've never been there. I don't know, right? But there are Dominicans who are not black. So sitting here and pretending that they are because they're from a certain place is just like, what? So she goes on to show her daddy, who is clearly not a black man. At the most, I would say maybe he's half black, but I wouldn't even give him that much, honestly, because like she said, yes, he has indigenous and European DNA as well, right? So honestly, looking at him, he looks mestiza. Mestiza people are mixed between indigenous and European. So he looks like, and I hate to use this, like, you know, this way of describing it, but like, you know, like a George Lopez type Hispanic person. You know what I'm saying? It's not giving black at all. He's not black. Let's just get that out the way, right? So you telling me you mixed a white woman with a non-black man and somehow the child is mulatto, half black and half white? Somebody skip math class, because the math just not quite mathing for me. Recently, I recorded a video, and I'm gonna put the link to it up here, right? It was about a woman who I believe was also from the Dominican Republic. She says she's Dominican. I always mix up because there's a place called the Dominican Republic and then another place with almost the same name, and I forget which place Dominican people are from, right? So, okay, the point is this though. She called herself black, and me and somebody else was like, "You're clearly not black, right?" So then she went and she posted her DNA ancestry results. When I tell you she was 45% European and 40% West African, she was literally more European than she was West African, right? Now, there was a couple of other things. There was some indigenous, a little bit Asian, right? But my point is this. She called herself black despite being less black than she is white. Like, what? I'm just confused because, like, at the least, she could have at least been 45% West African and 40% European. So then at least you could argue, well, the West African is the biggest percentage out of anything, even though it's not even quite half black, yada, yada. No, she was literally more European than she was West African, but she called herself black. Like, why is black the only race that we do this with? And then this is my thing. Y'all family spent generations ensuring that you would not be black, right? Like in Latin America, they had this whole thing, whiten up the race. What is it called? Like blancamiento or something. They had a whole system in place to make sure that their children would be white, right? And now y'all walking around today talking about y'all black, even though your families put so much effort into you not being black. And I'm confused because this is a recent development. This is a very recent development because like she said, there's a whole saying, oh, I know black, I Dominican, right? So y'all never claimed to be black before. Never, ever, 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 ever. But now suddenly everybody and their great granddaddy is black. Like, again, I'm just confused on why this switcheroony occurred. Like, what is going on? This white woman is straight from the Mayflower, baby. Like, straight from the Mayflower. This is the descendant of the conquistadors, my love. And y'all sitting around calling her a biracial. Like, for real? And this is my thing on YouTube. I have all these conversations about how biracials are not black and how, it's not okay to call them black because it erases the image of actual blackness, right? But clearly there needs to be a conversation had about how white people are not biracial. Like, this is a whole Caucasian, baby. Like, what is going on here? This woman is white talking about she mixed. Then this is not the first woman I've seen do this. When I tell you it be literal white people, like they might have one black grandparent, maybe, and they be talking about they mixed, they biracial. Baby, what are you talking about? Baby, you're white, like, huh? And then I just be confused. I be confused because it never works in the opposite direction. When it's a person with 3 black grandparents and 1 white grandparent, nobody says, oh, you're biracial, you're mixed, so and so and so. Immediately it's just, oh no, you're black, right? Because this gets back to my point. I'm tired of y'all using this whole black blood is dirty thing. A drop of it pollutes you and you're not good enough to be shit else. I don't like that at all. I promise if you go in the bathroom and turn the lights off and look in the mirror and say, I hate seasoning, I hate seasoning, I hate seasoning, this bitch reflection is going to pop up. She that motherfucking white. So why in 2024 are we sitting here pretending that these people are us or are a part of our community or are in any fucking way related to us? Because they not. I guess I'm going to have to be the one to say it. And I know y'all finna be in the comments, man, you just jealous of that bright Wakandan queen, you black bit of roach. But it is what it is, bitch. Back. I said back.